serve you knowledge nuggets. Scrum in the summary, the Scrum flow. In the following, we will take a look at Scrum in its entirety again and summarize all the elements we have covered so far. For orientation, we use different colors. Artifacts are displayed in gray, the durations or time boxes in red, the roles in yellow, and the events in petrol. First of all, Scrum requires the product vision. It answers the what for and accompanies us as a big picture during the entire product development. In the vision, 3 to 5 core characteristics of the product are defined, which are recorded in the product backlog in the form of requirements. The product backlog is an ordered list of all requirements that are placed on the product to be developed. You can imagine it like an iceberg. At the top are the small, very detailed requirements that are likely to be delivered in the next sprint. At the bottom are the big, broad requirements, some of which only appear as a keyword in the product backlog. The product owner is the only one who makes changes to the product backlog or has them made. The tip of the iceberg is looked at in sprint planning. Sprint planning is the first event in Scrum. The whole Scrum team is present at sprint planning. It has a maximum duration of 8 hours for a 4-week sprint. In sprint planning, 2 artifacts are created. One is the sprint goal. The Scrum team defines together what is completed in the sprint. The sprint goal serves as a stage goal, as a mini vision for the sprint, and enables focused work and progress monitoring. The second artifact is the sprint backlog. The requirements from the product backlog, including the sequence of events, are entered into this backlog and a plan specifying how the development team wants to achieve the sprint goal. The requirements are supplemented by tasks. Only the development team takes care of the sprint backlog management. Once this work is done or the time box is over, the development team starts working, that is, implementing the plan. This is what the circular arrow in the middle stands for. During the daily work, the daily Scrum takes place. During the daily Scrum, the whole development team is present. The product owner is not present at this event. Only the Scrum Master is allowed to support the event and make sure that the team stays within the duration of 15 minutes. This event is about exchanging information within the team, creating transparency, and making decisions quickly when obstacles are identified. It's about creating synergies and collaboration in the development team so that the sprint goal can be achieved. Refinement is a process that takes place continuously throughout the sprint. The product owner makes refinement permanent. The development team helps him to do so. However, it may only use 10% of its capacities for the entire activities of refinement. The Scrum Master supports the team when he is asked or needed. The refinement can be divided into 3 phases, which take place together rather than consecutively. First, the product owner prioritizes the requirements with the help of the development team and possibly a stakeholder, for example, the customer. The stakeholder indicates the value of a requirement to him. This and other factors are the basis for the product owner's prioritization. The next step is to detail the requirements. The requirements must be sufficiently understood. The product owner can find out what exactly the development team needs to understand a requirement or to start working on it in the definition of ready. The definition of ready helps to sufficiently detail the requirements. Writing requirements is the responsibility of the product owner, but he may also delegate it to the members of the development team. If he does so, the product owner is still accountable. The third phase involves estimating the workload of requirements by the development team. Here, the Scrum Master provides support when it is needed. The effort is estimated using an abstract scale relative to work that has already been done. The processes in refinement prepare the requirements for the next sprints. At the end of the sprint, the last 2 events take place. The second last event is the sprint review. The entire Scrum team is present at the review as well as stakeholders invited by the product owner. This event lasts a maximum of 4 hours for a 4-week sprint. In the sprint review, the product owner shows which items from the product backlog have been completed. To determine whether a requirement is complete, there is a definition of done. The definition of done is a criteria catalog and contains quality characteristics that must be fulfilled for each individual requirement. Afterwards, the developers present the finished product increment and answer questions from the customer. The increment is the sum of all previously completed requirements. In the review, the customer is given the opportunity to view the product and give feedback on what he or she wants to change or what he or she wants. Thereupon, the product owner updates the product backlog and next steps are discussed together. Through this event, there is a common understanding of the current state of product development. The last event in a sprint is the sprint retrospective. The whole Scrum team is present. This event has a maximum duration of 3 hours for a 4-week sprint. In the sprint retrospective, the collaboration, the Scrum process as such, as well as tools and techniques are reflected. The goal is to identify action items that help to increase the efficiency of the collaboration of the Scrum team. Furthermore, it will be evaluated how the quality of the product can be improved, and if necessary, the definition of done will be updated. All this in total represents a sprint. A sprint has a maximum duration of 4 weeks. After the sprint retrospective, the next sprint immediately follows, and everything starts all over again with sprint planning. Are you interested? Just visit us on our website, www.servu-group.com.